everyone. Welcome back to Which is the Moon. I'm your Monday hostess, Natalie. This week's topic is our favorite crystals to work with. I have a couple that I'm going to discuss today. I'm going to start out with amethyst. Amethyst is one of my absolute favorites because I have this beautiful amethyst crystal meditation point that my husband got for me, and because it's purple, and purple is my favorite color. Purple is also coordinated with the highest of the spiritual vibrations, and it goes along with the crown and third eye chakras. Magically speaking and healing wise, amethyst is a stone that is good for purification, improving your spirituality, communication with spirit. So anytime I'm going to be doing any kind of spirit communication or work with my spirit guides, I will use my crystal meditation, my amethyst crystal meditation ball, and I will focus with that. Either I will hold it in my hand or I will focus on it as a visual point to allow myself to reach that state of meditation in order to be able to communicate effectively with them. It's also a good protective stone, which is very important. Now, I want to share something with you guys real quick before I get into my other favorite stone. I'm not going to say much about amethysts just because it's my second favorite stone, and I don't know if anybody else is covering it. So as far as other magical properties, I'm going to let somebody else cover it. But I want to talk about these wonderful cards that I believe the wonderful Miss Kristen Horn sent me. They are called Healing Crystal cards. Apparently there's more than one deck because this says deck 1 somewhere on it. Yeah, crystal deck 1. So I'm not sure where she found these, but I'm sure you can Google it and find them online. But these are all of the crystals that are included in this particular deck. What I thought was really cool about this deck is that it tells you how to use the cards. It tells you a little bit about healing crystals, and it has 10% coupon off for purchasing crystals from their shop. I like how it's got the different chakras on there, and it shows you, based on the cards, what kind of chakra the cards associate with. It also tells you what the different chakras themselves mean. Has a card for that. It has Mohs scale of hardness for crystals, and it talks about that, which is really neat. And another thing is, if you're not super familiar with crystals, it gives you the shapes. And not only does it have the information on it, it has visuals for those of us that are, impaired in terms of understanding things. It's got a few little quick facts about types of stones, inclusions and clusters and phantoms, etc., etc. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is like fading in and out, so I apologize. Now, what I thought was really cool about these, and I'm going to show this with the amethyst card. It tells you amethyst, and it has kind of a statement on it about the different things. It talks about the chakras that it aligns with. It talks about its hardness. It gives the type of crystal that you're seeing here in terms of this as trigonal crystal system. And it mentions the type of crystal it is, in this case, is silicate. So what's neat about it is then it gives the magical properties right here. So these little cards are fantastic for those of us that are crystal deficit, so to speak. Crystal deficient, don't know a lot about crystals. I don't have the crystal Bible. I don't know. I have a lot of crystals. I just don't know what each of them are and what they do. I'm in the process of learning that. So I do have a few that I have always been very drawn to that I work with, and lapis lazuli is the one. I've always liked amethyst. My parents used to take us to a geode shop, and I would always want an amethyst geode. You would get the stone, and they would crack it open for you, and you would have the geode. Loved that, and purple, the sparkly purple, always got me. But it was always something that I felt very connected to. It's very weird because I'll sometimes also hold it to my third eye, and you can feel it. Anyway, my husband thinks I'm crazy. But my favorite crystal of all time is lapis lazuli. There's a couple of reasons for this. Lapis has always been one of my favorites because this was a stone that was actually very important to the ancient Egyptians. And for some reason, I've always been drawn to the ancient Egyptian pantheon. I know that I work with the Morgan, and then I'm Irish in my roots, but I've always been very drawn to ancient Egyptian culture. And I remember when I was a very small child, I got the pleasure and the privilege of seeing Tut's treasures at a museum for my preschool field trip. and it was laid out there, and they had this light shining on it, and there's this blue with this gold in it right around the eyes of the mask. And we were told not to touch. But little Natalie couldn't help herself, and her little fingers going out to touch that brilliant blue, and the teacher's like grabbing my finger and putting it down, and the little finger starts to reach out again, and finally she just took me away. But it was so drawing, I just had to touch it. So when I got my first piece of lapis, I was just enamored. What I love about it is that deep, deep blue for me indicates total tranquility and calm. I mean, honestly, it's something that I use to calm myself. Now, what lapis traditionally is used for is communication. It does align with the throat chakra, which is really funny because what do I do for a living? I'm a speech language pathologist. I work with communication. Plus, I write. I'm a writer. So, as an author, communication skills are very effective to me. So when I'm going to sit down to do some writing work, I will actually put a piece of lapis on my desk and keep it, or I will keep it in my pocket or my hand kind of close to me as I'm typing, so that it helps with the flow of my communication skills. Looking at it helps to calm me. That blue, I don't know if you guys can see it. I guess you can. It's just not as brilliant as it is in person, but there is gold flecking. There's gold pyrite that runs through lapis lazuli. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about lapis itself. Some of this information, sadly, comes from Wikipedia. Some of it just comes from other things that I found. These are things that I'm putting in my book of shadows as I learn about crystals more. Lapis lazuli is also known as lazurite. It's the main constituent. Frequently occurs as a dodecahedra. It is blue, mottled with white calcite and brassy pyrite. It is compact and massive. It is mined primarily, or was mined primarily, out of Afghanistan, that region there. It was prized by the lower Indus Valley and by the ancient Egyptians. And it is still sometimes ground into a powder. I actually have a little vial of lapis powder that someone sent me that I've been saving to use in some sort of magical ink, actually, is how I plan to use it. Lapis lazuli was often ground down and used as a natural pigmentation. As mentioned, it was used in the pigmentation for the mask for Tutankhamun. It was considered a royal stone by the ancient Egyptians. And today it is mined in northeast Afghanistan. Still the major source of that, but important amounts are also produced from the mines of West Lake Baikal in Russia and in the Andes Mountains in Chile. So it occurs in a variety of areas. Smaller quantities are mined in Italy, Mongolia, the United States, and Canada. So looking to know where that comes from, it's sourced from various different places. Now, lapis, there are many magical qualities to lapis. Not only is it good for communication and inner power, it's also good for your intuition, communication skills, and for calming and peace in relationships. I have seen where people have said to hold a piece of it to soothe your anxiety, especially if you're going to be at a speaking engagement. So if you're going to be like in a debate, or you're going to court and you need to be eloquent in your speaking, if you're going to be doing any kind of public speaking, holding a piece of lapis can help you in that vein. If you place it near the hearth of your home, it can help to bring peace to strident relationships. I should try that. I need to get a new piece that I can just leave near the hearth of my home because it's constantly strident in my home. Anywhere where people spend a lot of time together, you want to keep some of that. So it helps quiet tempers and promote cooperation and communication. Using during the dark moon divination, it symbolizes the night sky, the gold for the stars and the deep blue for the sky itself. So keeping it near you during the dark moon or using it in dark moon rituals or spells may help to improve your spellcraft in that regard. If you have an Egyptian altar, clearly you want to keep a piece of this on there because it was ground into a deep indigo powder used as eyeshadow on the eyes. It was used in the funerary masks, and it has the color symbolizes royalty and power for the ancient Egyptian cultures. You can use it in a mojo bag for inner peace. You can use it in any kind of a spellcraft to bring inner peace and to open communication amongst individuals. You can use it into bring it with you if you feel like you're going into some sort of a deceptive situation, because it can help you to see through the lines of communication to the actual meaning that's being given by the person. And just expect it to work on you too. Be cautious, because it's going to work on yours as well. So if you are being deceptive, I'm rolling that lapis lazuli at home. Now, if you are, you could use it in spell bags. You could put it in cauldron spells. You can use it in fire spells if you want, even. I don't know what that's going to do. I know if you put cinder block in a fire, it explodes, so be cautious on that. But you can use it to kind of calm you in terms of going back to the speaking engagements. If you are an actor or an actress, you can use a piece of lapis lazuli to calm your nerves prior to a performance. So singer, anything like that, anything where you're going to be speaking to a group or performing in front of a group, lapis lazuli can help to calm you. And then, of course, you can use it during meditation to open your third eye. It is a stone that I rely heavily on, and I really, really like it. I'm just, I could just rub this all day. If I could find a worry stone that was lapis, although this works pretty good because I can just come, hold it and rub it. I like this piece because it fits ergonomically in the hand, so I can carry it with me anywhere I want to go. It's small enough to carry in my pocket or in my purse, but I can hold it in my hand, and it really helps to center my emotions and open my communication. I will use this one in conjunction with my amethyst when I am doing any kind of spirit communication, because it is good for communication. So anytime I'm doing any divination work or communication with my spirit guides, lapis is my go-to stone. So that is my spiel on lapis lazuli. If you want to see the card that came with it, that is a lapis sphere and just a piece of, semi-polished lapis. It's good for communication, inner power, and intuition. It corresponds to the third eye, crown, and throat chakras. I associate it more with the throat chakra. And with ice, it is isometric crystal system, and it is a silicate-like amethyst, wherever I put my amethyst. Here it is. Lapis lazuli says, I speak clearly and with confidence. So march forward and take some lapis with you, because it will do you a world of good. Thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.